Hi, Dr. P here. Now, if you're an aspiring game designer or an experienced game designer, you always have this pull that pulls you away from game design. You can play other games, you can read about games, or you can read what people say about designing games in books and articles, you can watch videos. And ultimately, the more time you spend reading or watching or playing, the less time you have for designing games. So what do you do? Well, let's take Reiner Kenitsia as an example. He is a full-time game designer. He spends a great deal of time doing it. He does not play other people's games. He says he wants to find his own solutions for problems, not adopt someone else's. And I can understand that entirely. I also, and this is one of the few commonalities between me and Kenitsia, I also do not play other people's games, not anymore. I read rules, I watch people play, and I find that to be more efficient than playing myself. And of course, I talk to people who've played and can learn a lot more from them in a short time than by playing myself. Now, I make models of something. I want it to reflect some reality. I don't much care about the mechanisms that are involved. If you're all about mechanisms and you're making abstract games, it might be a somewhat different situation for you. So once again, how much time do you devote to playing games? How much time do you devote to learning about games and about game design? How much time do you devote to actually designing games? I think it depends partly on what stage you're at. It depends partly on your personality. Some people think they can figure out everything on their own. Some people can. Other people need a lot of help. If you look at this in terms of taking classes, for example, some people have been told, and some people even think that they can't learn anything without taking a class for it. I'm the opposite. Yeah, I have a PhD, but I learned an awful lot on my own, including game design. Because when I was first involved in it, there was very little advice anywhere. Also, I'm 70 years old, so by now I ought to have learned a lot. If you're 20 years old, you're in a very different situation. You may think you know everything, but even 70-year-olds don't know everything. So it always comes down to what is the more efficient use of your time. And that's something only you can figure out. I like to teach people, and for that reason I do these videos. And I've written a book, and if I ever get them published, I have several other books that could be published. But not everybody has that point of view. But those activities take away from time designing games. But I'm not a full-time game designer, although I am retired. I sort of do it as a hobby business. Again, if you're trying to make a living, as Kenitsia does very, very easily, then you're going to do things differently than I will. So, I think that's all I can tell you about that subject. Thanks for listening.